Good morning. I hope you're having a great Saturday. I realize you're probably out and about today, but I know most of you will be able to watch the replay. So thank you for joining me either live or when you're watching the replay. I'm Lisa Brown, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I thank you for being here with me. It's a beautiful day here in Southwest Missouri, and I had planned to go ahead and share this card with you today. It's using this Beautiful You stamp set that is gorgeous. It's very different from what Stampin' Up has carried in the past. I really like it. It's something different. It's very artsy and really has some pretty sentiments and pretty fonts to make great cards. So I'm going to be using this one here today, this stamp here, with the Celebrate, because I figured that Celebrate could go either for birthday or a special occasion or anything, and then decide later what sentiment I was going to use on the inside of the card. So let me show you the card here. Here it is. It's using, hey Kathy, it's using some beautiful paper that I'm going to show you. It's in the Occasions catalog. We're going to be doing some watercoloring with blender pens and the watercolor pencils on shimmery white cardstock. And this is cut with, those beautiful stitched framelets that are back in stock. So glad to have those. I know some of you have taken advantage of getting those and purchasing those now that they've been back in stock since January the 16th. So let me show you some of the prints in that paper that I'm going to use. This is called Falling in Love, the Designer Series paper. It's in the Occasions catalog. It's with the bridal suite, but I think it can be used for Valentine or any occasion. It's got a feminine feel, but that's okay. It's beautiful, and I think you could adjust it to use for whatever you'd like. Okay, so this one has some little falling hearts, okay? And then the back side is some lace. Isn't that beautiful? It looks real. Think bridal cards, bridal shower cards, or invitations, or even favors. Okay, this one has just some little flowers, looks like little dandelions on it. And the back side is like glittery garland. It's really pretty, really pretty, in a Sahara sand in gold. This is just like a cross hatch print, okay, very subtle. And then this is a bokeh print with the sweet sugar plum and gold and some of the Sahara sand in the background. All right, this one has just some sketched little flower vines on Sahara sand. And then this one has some more lace, like just some gathered lace fabric. Here's some butterflies in the colors that are featured in the designer paper. On the back side, another bokeh print. It's like they took the print and then it's blurred. So it's like a photographic print. And here's another bokeh print, and I'm gonna look at the colors in this, because that blue, it's Soft Sky. Soft Sky, Sahara Sand, Blushing Bride, and Sweet Sugar Plum, okay? And then this back side has just some sketched flowers in the Sweet Sugar Plum. Okay, so let's get started. Let me just show you what the base is going to be. It's Blushing Bride, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded in half for the base. Sweet Sugar Plum, that is cut at 5 1/4 by 4 to layer on top of the front of the card. And then here's one of the prints from that designer paper collection. That's cut at 5 by 3 3/4. Okay, so we'll layer that up in a minute. But let's get our stamping and coloring done. I am using the Basic Gray Archival ink that's water fast, and it's not as harsh as the Basic Black. I wanted a more subtle look for this card to kind of blend in with the background. So I'm stamping this image on shimmery white cardstock, and then we're going to die cut it. So here we go. I'm going to stamp here not too close to the edges so that you have room to put your die around it, okay? All right. And then we have the Celebrate that I'm going to stamp on the same piece. And I'm going to stamp it down here and cut that with a smaller oval. So we can put the basic gray aside. I'm going to get the Big Shot. Let me show you the stitched frame framelits. Here they are, the ovals. I'm using 2 of them. Right here, the smallest one and this second to the largest. Here are the circles, and then on the back side here we have the squares. And what it looks like, it has little almost perforated lines around the edges, so it looks like faux stitching. It's very, very pretty. Okay, let me get my Big Shot. And I'm not going to try to cut both of these at the same time. I don't have my magnetic platform here, so I'm just going to cut one at a time. So I need to put this here. My cutting plates are a little buckled. You know, you have to replace those and change them, flip them every now and then so you don't get it too bowed. Okay, so let me put that there and then put another cutting plate on the top. I'm going to roll that through. Okay, let's just pop that out and set it aside, and let's cut out the Celebrate with this smaller oval, and we'll have that ready to go when we assemble the card. So if you're here watching live, I know I have, I think, 2 people here. If you will, just give a shout out, say hello and where you're from. I know my sister-in-law Kathy is watching from Pasadena, Texas. Get this. I'm not try to talk too much when I'm getting my Big Shot work done. I mean, you should put your hand up here when you're cutting, but I didn't want to get my arm in the way of the view of the camera. So that's with the awkwardness of the thing. So be sure and hold that top handle when you're cutting with your Big Shot. Okay, now let's get our image, and we're going to get our watercolor pencils and a blender pen. And for this, I wanted to use a pink that was like in between the Blushing Bride and the Sweet Sugar Plum. Well, we don't have those particular colors here, so I blended some. I'm taking the Calypso Coral and the Melon Mambo, and I'm going to get a piece of scratch paper here and put some color down, and just scribble one on top of the other to kind of blend. Then I'm going to take a blender pen. Be sure I get it clear. There's no leftover color from another project. And then I'm just going to start applying it to the dress. Now the Shimmery White cardstock takes the moisture well with a blender pen. The blender pen is a really easy way to get a watercolor look. And Shimmery White cardstock works well. You can also use the thick Whisper White cardstock. I like this Shimmery White because it's got that pretty finish, glittery finish anyway. It's very subtle. Doesn't look like a glitter on your card, although I am going to bling this one up a little bit. So let me get this. I'm trying to get it darker over here on this side. That's where I'm applying the most color. Like that's shadowed and she's in the light over here. Okay. I love the sketchy look of this set. And so there we have our dress almost done. And you can go back and add more. You can also take your blender pen and pick up the color right from the pencil tip. Okay, so I'm going to do that, like where I want the shadows. Okay, just blend it all in. And there I've got a mixture of those 2 colors, so it's not either totally Calypso Coral, which is a very, you know, a peachy color, and well, coral. And then the Melon Mambo is a pretty bold pink, so I didn't want it that bright. So I'm going to leave it just like that. And now for the skin tone. What I tried was using Calypso Coral, okay? Hi, Penny. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm going to scribble that here and clean off that pink off of my blender pen tip. And then I'm going to pick that up a little bit, just barely. And then I find that that gives a good skin tone. If you want to make it darker, you could blend in a little bit of the Early Espresso, which is right here. And I might try that just to see. Okay, I'm doing Early Espresso, Calypso Coral, and then blend it together. Let's see if I can. That works okay. It's just a subtle hint of color so that it's not, she's not white, okay? That looks not natural. So I wanted to give her a little bit of color. So you can play with your colors and blend them to get your desired look. But as long as she's just not that stark white, I think it's good. I'm gonna try a little bit more Calypso Coral. Pick that up. Give her face a little more color. Okay, so now I'm going to do her hat, and I'm going to use a little bit of Early Espresso over here, and I don't want it too dark. So let me just color off here, pick a little bit of that up. And if you want to, you can put a little bit of Calypso Coral with it and make it more of a straw hat looking. I don't want it dark brown. So just blending. With watercolor pencils like I'm using, you can do it here where you are picking it up off another sheet of paper, or you can color directly onto the project. That gives you a little bit more of a bolder, brighter color, but for this look, I want to just kind of like a wash, okay? All right, there she is. Now I'm going to get my Wink of Stella in clear. I told you I was going to add a little bit more bling. This is a glitter brush. It's a must-have if you're a card maker. And it just kind of fancies up her dress a bit. Not too much. You can see that you probably can't see it that well, but it's a little, just a little bling on her dress. Okay, so now we've got our image ready. We've got the sentiment ready. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with some doilies. Recently, I posted a tip on using the new lace doilies that are in the Occasions catalog. One side is Very Vanilla, the other side is Whisper White, which is awesome. You can use whichever neutral you've decided to use on your card or project and choose the side you need. But for this, I wanted to use the center that I punched out with my 2-inch circle punch, and I can save this to use behind something else later. And then I took another one and cut it in half, and I'm going to use the Very Vanilla side of that. But I wanted to give this a little color, so I'm going to take my Stampin' Sponge and Sweet Sugar Plum Classic Stampin' Pad, open that up, dab that, and I'm going to give that some color. I wanted to bring the Sweet Sugar Plum in a little bit more. So I'm just brushing it over the top of the doily, going from center out so that I don't pull those little edges and damage them, and giving it some color. My Stampin' Sponge, they come in a big circle, and then I cut them into wedges and keep them in a box to use for different colors. Okay. That looks okay. I'm going to give it a little bit more. All right, so now set that aside. let's go ahead and start building our card. I'm going to go ahead and put down these layers. This is the Sweet Sugar Plum layer. That's our liquid glue, and that gives the size that's cut, 5 by 5 1/4 by 4, enables that background of the base to show around the edges. And then I'm taking this piece of the Falling in Love designer paper and going to apply that on top, and that's cut so that the Sweet Sugar Plum shows from behind it. So you get all those colors together. Give it a good press down. Hi, Diana. How are you doing? Okay, so now we have that. And so now I'm going to take our beautiful You lady that's all blinged up with her, what is that called? Wink of Stella. And I'm going to take the half of the doily with the Very Vanilla on top and just attach that behind that oval, that stitched shape oval. Okay, and then that's going to go here toward the bottom of the card. So let me add a little more of the liquid glue and put that here. Okay, then I'm going to take this doily, the center of that doily that I sponged, and I'm going to put a little liquid glue behind it, and it's going to have the sentiment over top of it. But I want to bring it here, and it's going to overlap the doily and a little bit of the oval, like that. Now see, my glue has smushed out a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that, okay, because we're going to cover that up with the Celebrate. So let's put the glue here, and then I kind of off-center that a little bit. And the thing with the liquid glue, I've said this before, is that I love using it when you can, because it's forgiving and you can scoot your things around if you need to, your items on your card. Okay, so now for a finishing touch, I'm just going to use some of our basic pearls. Get my very old paper piercing tool. This is the old style. And let's see, I'm going to take, I just have large ones and the small ones on here, so I'm going to make do with that. I'm just going to put 3 of them. So there's a large one, then one of these tiny ones right here. You can still see it. It's tiny, but it makes an impact. Then I'm going to put another large one down here. Okay, so there we have what could be a birthday card, a celebration card for any time for a friend or a family member. I really love this Falling in Love paper. It is beautiful for any occasion. Like I said, it's in the bridal suite in the Occasions catalog, but it can be used anytime you need, mainly a feminine card, but there are prints in there that you could use for any card, for anyone. Okay, so I'm going to hang around just a little bit to see if anybody has any questions. Does anyone have this set that's watching the video? I know that probably I just have a few people here. Everybody's out busy on a Saturday, but it really is pretty. And of course, if you don't have this set, you can use this same layout for, you could have a big sentiment here, okay? You could have another picture. You could even do a child's theme card like this with a little picture here or sentiment here that would be good for a child's birthday. Just use the layout. That means where things are arranged on the card, how things are cut. Use the paper that you have, the stamp sets that you have, and you can make a great card with this same style. Okay, I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you all for being here. If you watch live, thank you if you watch the replay. If you have a question or comment, leave it here below, and I hope to see you all again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.